Hi. I just have to check whether we're live yet. I can't see anything, so just give me a second while I have a wee look. How do I tell if we're live? I don't know. So okay, are we up in Facebook yet? Can anyone see anything? Okay, I really don't know if we're live. I cannot tell. So am I going to assume we're live and have a look? If you're in Facebook and you can see my video, please. Oh, yes, we are. Yay, we're live. Finally, I can see you guys. Okay, so now I've got you up. So over there, you're on Facebook. Welcome to my sunny little office in New Zealand. So I'm Eileen Mueller. This is my flagship series, Right as a Fire. Here's a few awards I won, which have been designed by Weta Workshop, who did a lot of the work on Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and many other films. Those are called Sir Julius Vogel Awards. There's a map of Dragon's Realm, the world which our series is set in, and the current story is set down here in the Novian Sea. You can see a sea dragon. There's a tiny little sea dragon on that map somewhere, which you probably can't see. Anyway, I am here, and I'm supposed to be here with Angel Haze because today we are celebrating her launch of Reign of Shadows and my launch of Dragon Pirate. Unfortunately, I don't have physical copies of the book yet because the ebook, the paperback is being formatted right as we speak. Anyway, so it's great to see you guys. Hello, Kitametsi, I can see you, and Gigi, I can see you, and Patrick and Eddie. Cool. So we've got a crew of pirates on board. What I have also here right now are the questions that you dropped earlier. In the last 24 hours, you've been leaving some questions. Angel will be replying in the comments. Gigi, could you please tag Angel so she sees the post? And actually, I might just pop that to her in Messenger over here so that she can see the post. Angel has had some technical difficulties. They've had a storm in Ontario, Canada, and her internet is glitching. So she's been a bit hit and miss today on the party. And we had one yesterday that also made our electricity go off for about half a second. So it's interesting that down here in New Zealand and up there in Canada, we're worlds apart, and yet we've all had storms and lots of electrical interference. I'm wondering if it's those battle mages of angels out there creating havoc out beyond the black wall. Anyway, let's go. So yay for launches. It's great to see you guys too. And I would firstly like to thank all of my readers for the amazing job they've done of naming pirates, creating pirates, naming taverns, creating islands, and doing all sorts of really cool stuff to help bring Dragon Pirate to life. I have to admit, this book has been a real challenge to write because usually I pluck my ideas out of my own head or from the environment somewhere, and then I can just put them in, and just start writing the story was so hard, but because I had about 15 amazing characters I wanted to include. There were heaps more. There were like 100 characters people suggested, and fully fledged characters with backstories and all sorts of intricate stories, and I had this full crew ready, and in the end I couldn't even use them all because as the story went along, there was no opportunity to keep introducing all these amazing backstories. But I have a special announcement for you, and I'm not going to tell you fully, but we will be expanding the series soon, and it's going to be a very exciting time. And the whole Right as a Fire Dragon Master series will have 9 books in it, but I'll tell you more about that next week. So firstly, welcome to Angel. Thank you to David and Melinda, and I'm running by memory here, and Ella and Alexis and Kitametsi and James and everybody else who has contributed today, and Taboo, who's been really cool at doing lots of work keeping things buzzing. Now we're going to get to your questions. Angel will be answering. Good, thank you for taking Angel. That's great, Gigi. Angel will be answering some questions down in the comments in my Facebook group. So I'm going to go over to the questions you have left me. My favorite dragon name from a story I wrote or read. I love all the dragon names, and I love the ones that my readers have suggested. And as you know, you named a dragon for Dragon Pirate, and the name that won was called Astoria. It begins with UST, Astoria. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers about where that dragon appears in the book, but if you want to know more, go grab a copy of Dragon Pirate and have a read. Angel. We have a question here, maybe for Angel, so I'll have a little quick look. There was Angel, do you dream your villain versus hero fighting scenes? So if Angel can answer down in the Facebook comments when she's around, and we'll see whether I'll put that in the comments for her so she can answer that, and we'll see how she goes. I'll read out her answers if I can see them. Angel Haze. There you go. You're going to hear my clattery keyboard. I've got a really noisy keyboard. It stops all the dragons from roaring. Okay, there's another one for Angel. Where did she get the idea of the elven city or towns, all the colours and neon animals and trees? That is intriguing, isn't it? It's amazing what people come up with when they do world building. So I'll pop that in the comments for Angel too. Righty-ho, back to more questions. Okay, Jeff wants to know dragon mating rituals. Now, Jeff Kahanek, I should have known you'd come up with that question. So as of today, as of yet, I've avoided that topic. But we do know, not entirely, like you don't see dragons mating in my books yet. However, we have had a few dragons give advice to some of their humans and their writers when they, like we had Kirian, who was quite keen on a particular young girl who might happen to be a sister of Roberto. Shh, don't tell, spoiler for Dragon Rift. But we had Kirian, being a bit nervous. And so Leona was telling him, just bite her tail or, just claw her, jump on her, do the things that dragons usually do to show that they're attracted. So that's quite fun. And we also had, I think it was Scarletta that suggested that you bite a dragon by the neck to let them know that you love them. So, dragons have slightly different mating rituals. Maybe they're not so different after all. But anyway, thank you, Jeff Kahanek, for bringing that tone into the discussion. My first book idea. Do I remember my first book idea? Did it become published, and will it in the future? Okay, so my first book idea was I saw the tip of a wing, of a dragon's wing, just on the edge of nowhere, and it was a multicolored dragon's wing with all the colors of the rainbow in it. And I just saw the tip of a dragon's wing, and then I thought, oh, where is it? Oh, it must be above a forest. Who's in the clearing? What are they doing? Who sees this dragon? And guess what the answer was? Azara saw the dragon. She didn't even believe in dragons. She didn't even know dragons existed in Lush Valley. And her whole village is in an uproar about it. Except she doesn't get to see that because she disappears on the dragon and isn't seen again for a long time. Anyway, so that was my first story, Boo. Thank you for asking that question. And yes, it did get published, and it took me 9 years of rewriting it before I was happy to publish. And during those 9 years, I had to learn how to write. And I wrote maybe 5 or 6 novels during that time. So it's quite surprising that Azara, the first one, was the one that got published. I wrote a martial arts novel, an urban fantasy novel, a really, really cool one, which I've still got ready to go sooner or later. And I wrote Dragon Hero, and Azara is one big, fat, enormous book of 223,000 words. So, it took me quite a bit of time to edit it and rewrite it. It took me a long time to learn to write well. And once I was happy, then I published them. Okay. Todd Cole Carter wants to know, is it possible for a dragon to shapeshift into a pirate? Now, that hasn't happened yet in Dragon's Realm. However, it could be possible somewhere, and it's a great idea. What do you guys think? Do you want to drop something in the comments and tell me what you do with a dragon that shapeshifts into a pirate? However, I do think that in terms of being a pirate, Scarletta has a very, she's a bit of a vengeful dragon because her dragonette was killed in Anakesha's Dragon in book 1. Oh, spoiler. Anyway, you'll have to go back and read that if you want to read Dragon Pirate. Start with Anakesha's Dragon, go to Dragon Mage, and then come back to Dragon Pirate, and you'll find quite a big depth in the backstory. But so she's quite vengeful, so I think she has a piratical heart. Will that do for you, Todd? Right, next question. Let me have another look over here. Just got to zoom my screen up so I don't have to keep putting my glasses on. And when I sign off in my newsletters, I always say from my sunny little office in New Zealand, and here you can see the sun coming into my sunny little office. Righty ho. Now, Sandy wants to know, where's my dragon? What's her breath weapon? I think flame, and I think these are all my dragons. There are lots of them. There are hundreds in Dragon's Realm, and they're all my babies, and I love them to bits. Not that they're babies, I would never, ever tell them that. Okay. What kinds of mischievous adventures are starting to pop into my mind for dragons to get into next? So when you all recommended Amazing Pirates for me, I suddenly realized that there were heaps, there were so many recommendations for really saucy female pirates and just real, kick-ass female pirates. So I decided that, there weren't any female pirates on the ship. And so I decided that we need another adventure. So soon there will be another book out called Dragon Captain. Won't be the next one, but maybe one after. And we'll have to figure out who the Dragon Captain's going to be and what their crew is. Okie dokie. Back to the next question. So thank you for that, Laurie Kuzner. Alan Cheeseman wants to know the winning lottery numbers. Good luck. He wants to know which book blurb was the hardest for me to write and how did I overcome the challenge. Now, I know Alan's writing some books of his own. So, believe it or not, Anakesha's Dragon was the most difficult blurb for me to write. Anakesha's Dragon is a story of two completely different people in different parts of the continent. And I'll show you where they are. So you have, right up here in the middle of the map and last stop, you have Anakesha. And down here, in the Nobian Sea, you have Will.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Have you been able to hear me? Okay, I don't know if you could hear me. I don't know when I took off my headset. I thought I had it on. Let's see if anyone can. Anyway. Oh, well, I guess you've missed most of what I said. So someone was asking me, oh, boy, that's really thrown me now, not having my, what the hardest blurb was to write for my books. And Anakesha's Dragon was the hardest blurb because I had two completely different stories. Okay, people can hear me. That's amazing. I am so surprised. Could you hear me beforehand? You heard me the whole time. Okay, I'll stop panicking. Okay, so Anakesha's Dragon was really difficult to write because you had Will, who lived in Niobia, and the Scarlet Hand on the Nobian Sea, and then you have, and that's without me trying to give any spoilers, and Will gets press ganged onto the Fiery Dragon, the ship of the Scarlet Hand. Anyway, and you have Anakesha miles up north in a tavern, and I had the Anakesha story unfolding really nicely, and I kept thinking there must be more in this story. So suddenly Will was born and off he went. I knew this was the history of the Scarlet Hand. And so you have two completely separate stories that then come together. When writing a blurb, I kept getting told by the blurb experts, because I have a few authors who are really good at blurbs, who are my friends, and I was posting these in sort of author Facebook groups, and they kept saying there's too many characters, you can't. And I'm like, but with less characters, the story is not just about Anakesha. Half the story is Will's story and the story of the Scarlet Hand. So how do I do this? It's really funny. It took me a year and a half. Even after publication, I just finished running the blurb this week to a state that I'm happy with. So pop up to Amazon if you want and go and have a look at my blurb. Tell me what you think. Tell me whether it would entice you to buy the book, because this has been a work in progress and I have never had that issue with any other book. Usually I've written my blurbs quite quickly, I pass them around a few people, they critique them and we pull them together. But this book has been majorly difficult because I'd either leave out half of the content of the book and not tell the story about the Scarlet Hand and Will at all, or it made it sound like there was a love affair between the two of them. So, which isn't that's not what happens between Anakesha and the Scarlet Hand. Righty ho. Vansel Clayton Thomas wants to know, wants to know who, why you became interested or / motivated to become an author. I've always loved stories. I've loved storytelling, verbally, written. I loved telling stories at school. I wrote my first play when I was a kid, and me and my sister performed it to the family, walking on the coffee table, which was hilarious. But for a long, long time, I just assumed it wasn't possible, was never going to do this. And then a friend of mine, Mandy Ellsworth, shout out, cool author who writes historical fantasy. If you want to go and look at her profile, Mandy with an I, Ellsworth. Mandy sent me a manuscript of hers to look at. She was living here in New Zealand and she's American, now living in Utah. She sent me a manuscript and asked me to critique it for her. And I read it and she said it was never going to be published. It wasn't up to scratch. And I thought, wow, that was a really cool story. Maybe I should write one too. And then we started writing, talking about, to each other about our books. Poor Mandy waded through that terrible first manuscript of mine and was so encouraging. And Deb Jensen, also a good friend of mine who's an author, also read through that first manuscript and just said to me, when's the next book? But I knew it wasn't up to scratch. So I'm really glad that I put the time in to edit Azara and Dragon Hero and get them into 2 books and publish them, and that you guys have found them and had fun with them. Okay, now this is a really good story. How important is the first sentence in a book to you? As in, do you, as the author, stress about it being something the reader remembers long after finishing the book? As a reader, is there any that you really remember? So you guys can write down first lines that you really like. John Grisham has a brilliant first line in one of his books. I can't remember what it was, but it's about a guy getting into a lift with explosives strapped to him. And the first line was brilliant. I loved it. So my first line, I can tell it to you off by heart for Azara, is, oh, I've just had a mental blank. Is it the hum or the swish? I just have to check. The scrape. The scrape of a blade sliding from its scabbard cut through the hum of the market square. There you go. I'll have to read the rest to you. I'll read you a couple of lines. So you've instantly got action, a little bit of tension. Azara dropped her basket, spinning, she drew her sword. There you go. That sets the tone really well for the book. Since then, I write my first lines a little bit different. I was really obsessed with my first book of getting the first line absolutely snappy and having the first paragraph straight into action. And I was told by quite a few people they like to meander into the action a bit more. So it seems to vary. So with every book, it's slightly different. And thank you, Mandy Sagan, who's from Norway, or Sagan from Norway. British, living in Norway. Thank you very much for asking that. Biba Andrak from South Africa. When did you know you had to be an author? How difficult was it to start your first book? It was easy to start, very difficult to finish. And I guess once I published, I was working part-time and looking after my kids when I published Azara and Dragon Hero. And I decided that if they were successful, that I would pursue a career as an indie author, and they were. So that's great. What about you, Angel Haze? Angel, let us know down in the comments. When did you? I'll go pop that one in the comments for Angel. I've sort of, it's interesting because Angel's not online with me. It's a bit tricky to remember that she needs to answer these questions too. Okie dokie. Angel can go to the original post. Angel, it's in our Google form if you want to go find it, and you can answer the questions directly if you'd like to, or you can put them at the bottom of the video. Okay, what made me want to write about dragons in particular? And Angel, why did you pick the fantasy genre? And that question's from Boo. Let me tuck my head under my wing and think about that for a moment, or shall I wag my tail? Dragons, why not? Sure, I do write about other things as well, but I just enjoyed dragons. I loved Anne McCaffrey's books, Aragon, lots of other dragon books when I was a teenager. So, I wasn't a teenager when Aragon came out. But anyway, Carly Mack wants to know if I ever found myself in a plot hole, and if so, how do you fix them? with pirates. That's how I fix my plot holes. Twice I found myself in Dragon's Realm going, what happens next? And I thought, oh, bring some pirates into the story. So that is how the pirates originally got involved in book 4, Dragon Strike. I thought, I'm sure my readers love hearing about dragons and battles endlessly. We're preparing for war. But what about I put something else in the mix just to vary it and change things a little bit? And so we had a retired pirate running a tavern in, I think he's in Montanara, which is further north on the map, up just under that ridge of mountains near the top and amongst the forest. That's Montanara. People ask, why dragons again? Why not? I enjoy them. You enjoy them. Let's go for it. What's our favourite writing, drink, and snack? Okay, Angel, I'm going to let you answer that in the comments. Okay, I think I might be putting these in. I might be putting these in the wrong comments. If you want all your StreamYard comments to be seen, I'm getting them all on StreamYard and they're not coming up on Facebook. Then you have to give StreamYard permission to post your comments for you. So if you do that down below, there'll be a wee button you can push and that will help things show up. Hello, Belinda. I'm just going to say hello to everyone. Hello, Belinda. Hello, Michael. Hello. I've said hello to Gigi already. Hi, Vansel. Hi, Angel. And there's lots of people that just say Facebook user, and I can't see your names unless you allow StreamYard to have permission to share your information. Okay, Barbara Lang. When you start a new series, do you think first of a character, a particular plot, or a type of world? So it feels like I've been writing the same series forever because I've been doing Riders of Fire and then Riders of Fire Dragon Masters. I think like my example before was a wingtip and then who was seeing it? A girl. Why was she there? To see a dragon. Okay. What was the dragon doing there? It was, imprinting. She was the dragon's new rider. And of course the dragon was Zarusha, Queen of the Dragons. Here she goes again. Thank you, Christian Bentlem, for beautiful cover art. And then it became a character-driven story because Azara was a girl that knew nothing about dragons and they were outlawed in her village. But there is a bigger plot, of course, because there's monsters attacking, genetically engineered monsters. Shh, that's a spoiler for the end of the series. However, how do I make my villain likable? Okay, so there is a secret here. The Scarlet Hand is a hero, but he's also a villain. So to make a villain likable, you need to give them lots of attributes and moments where they do nice things, and you need to give them a good heart, but of course their logic is flawed. So Will is still a pirate and will always be a pirate unless he has a change of heart, and he has logic in Dragon Pirate that I'm not going to talk about in case you haven't read the books, like Michael Lee hasn't read them yet. So a villain things have to make sense for the villain, and their logic has to be sound for them so that we can empathize with them and understand where they've gone wrong. What percentage of my time is writing, thinking about writing, see everything else? So I think 100% of it is thinking about writing. My kids are like, oh, you've got your head in the clouds again. Yeah. Even when I'm driving, going around the supermarket, I'm always thinking of things. So 100% of it is living life, but, there's something always mulling over in the back of my mind. So that I go out and dictate. I have a little dictaphone with a little wire microphone, and I walk all around the bush and the trees and down at the seaside and the beach and sometimes in town, although the traffic tends to disrupt my dictation. And then when I get home, the computer translates it into a big hot mess, and then I go through fix it, and going through it means I rewrite everything. So I'm thinking about stuff as I'm driving, as I'm walking, as I'm everywhere. But the actual percentage of time writing, there's a lot of time you spend, like I spend time with my fans and my Facebook group. I love doing that. I probably spend way too much time. Don't tell anyone else. They all think I'm writing. And there's a lot of time marketing and networking with other authors and just doing a lot of stuff. So it's a business that we run, but the writing is the stuff that fuels me, makes me feel amazing. It's what makes me want to jump out of bed and write the next story. And having readers that love my books is precious. Thank you. Okay, next. Are any of my characters loosely based on family or friends? Oh, that would be telling. I cannot tell that. Of course, none of them are based on anybody I know at all. My kids are always guessing who's who. I do take attributes of people. So I do what's called a Frankenstein. When an artist creates a photo montage, they take someone's head, someone's arms, and they put things together to make a character sometimes for book covers. And I do bits of that. I'll take someone's attributes here and someone else's here. And then I met a guy who acted in Lord of the Rings, and he was an orc. And he was huge, Māori fellow, like enormous, would have filled a doorway. And he had short shaven, blue black stubble, and he had these huge yellow eyes, like his eyes were yellow. And guess what Commander Zen's looks like? And I met him at a swimming pool. I haven't told him, but I've never seen him again. But I met him in a swimming pool, and I said to him, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was sitting there typing while my kids were having swimming lessons, and I used to swim a lot with them too. But that day I was typing, had trying to get my draft ready, and I was writing Azara. And he looked at me and started talking to me, and I'm like, "I'm writing a book," and he's going, "Oh, will you put me in your book?" And he looked at me and thought, "Oh my God, he'd be the perfect villain," and he was wonderful. But when I told him, I said, I've put you in my book. The next week he said, "Oh, I hope you didn't make me a baddie." He really didn't want to be a bad guy. It's really funny. And I was like, "Actually, I used you as a villain, especially your eyes." So that's quite funny. How many dragons does it take to screw in a light bulb? If you have the right dragon, 1. That's Robert Zangari. Trust you to ask that question, Robert. Okay, and Aruia Assad. Is it more difficult to write the start of a book or the end of a book? And what's harder to write, a romantic scene or an action scene? I think those things vary from author to author. So I love writing action, and I love writing romantic scenes. And my romantic scenes, I try hard to make them quite sensual without making them too sexual. Does that make it, just get that fine balance? So you get a lot of the feels, but nothing of the graphic stuff. So that's quite a tricky balancing art, but I really enjoy writing those. AJ Ponder hates writing romance. Don't tell anyone. She hates romance. So anyone who isn't into romance can go check out her Savala Chronicles. They're brilliant. They're funny. They're satirical fantasy with a very weird dragon, but lots of fun, and a feisty heroine. Action scenes. Angel Haze writes brilliant action scenes. I love her action scenes. Andy Pellegrin, Jeff Kahanek, there's a whole lot of people out there that write brilliant action scenes. And I love fast-paced, heart-pounding, oh my goodness, what's going to happen next action. And as I write it, my whole body gets rigid. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? It's crazy. So I like my readers to feel like that too. Right. That's the end of the questions off the Facebook post. There you go. Droopy horn syndrome. I'm just going to see, have you got any more questions you want to ask me now in the Streamline? Okay. So you're all coming up as Facebook. I can do this. So you can see the questions. Brilliant. Someone only drinks water when I write, but I love chocolate. Okay. So I wonder who that is. I drink water and I love chocolate too. So that's cool. Oh, looks like Boo Vickery might like chocolate too. Okie dokie. Her dragon breeding comment above. Okay, let me go have a look at that. Where's Courtney's dragon breeding comment? I'm not sure. I have to go up the comments slowly, so I'll just ask a few more. So Angel, does Angel have anything? Michael Lee loved the Aragon books too, but he's disappointed. Hang on, I have to go back and hide Courtney's comment now. This takes a bit of skill getting used to this. Michael loved the Aragon books, but the movie disappointed him. I felt the same because you can't go back, with that movie, because there's too much stuff missing from the first book to continue the series. Thank you, Boo. Righty, hi. Oh, my hair looks so pretty. Yeah, we got it re-dyed for the book launch. It's been bleached so much that it was nearly white, and so I was beginning to look like people told that old lady over there with the white hair. It was white with blobs of purple and stuff on it. Okie dokie, cool. So you can hear me without the headset. That's an amazing microphone. It was down on my desk. Righty ho, I'm working backwards through the comments, just checking if there's anything else. Okay. Okay, so everyone can see and hear me. Right, that's been brilliant. Look, I would like to thank Angel for coming in to party with me. I'm sorry she couldn't be online. We have a special event in 2 weeks' time. We've got Andy Pelican, Jeff Kahanek, Angel, and I reading bedtime epic fantasy to you, and we're going to make it ridiculous. We're going to be doing giggles and laughs and ridiculous. I think Jeff does a good falsetto, so maybe we'll get him to do some female characters. So we're going to pick a couple of bits from Angel's book and my book and all have a go at seeing if we can make you smile and laugh. So that is on the 23rd of June on Thursday at 9 p.m. ET. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And that would be 1 o'clock in New Zealand. And I'll let you guys figure out the other time zones. But we have a little announcement about that in the group. So hop on board and come and see us, tell stories, and have loads of fun. I love hanging out with these guys. They're like my tribe. They're really awesome fun. And someone wants to know if I'll write a book without dragons. It's saying all the unnamed posts are coming up as Angel. Brilliant. Okay, Angel, you're prolific. They might all be here. Yes, I have some books without dragons. I have started a series and plotted it. However, because everybody's loving the dragon stories, I have to keep putting them out. So let me know if you'd be interested in an urban fantasy with elemental creatures or elemental beings in it, because I have one of those that's been sitting in that filing cabinet and on this computer for the last 5 or 6 years, and it only needs a little bit of work, a quick go through, and I could have it up in a week. But I will need to write 3 other books afterwards, and if I do that, I can't be writing Riders of Fire, Dragon Masters at the same time. So that's my goal, is to clone myself so I can write different series all at once and to get faster at writing and dictating. Okay. Thank you. Someone said this is awesome. I can't see who that was, but that's really cool. We also, there's the comment about, that's the other one again, the same one. So we do have people liking urban fantasy. So Alicia Ponder and I, so AJ Ponder and I have a series out called The Dragon Shifters Horde. You can go and find it on my Amazon profile. And the first book is Snow and Red, and there's a freebie called Drucky Twins, which Michael Evans will be giving away later as part of a package. If you go out and grab Dragon Pirate and Reign of Shadows today, Angel Haze's book, Reign of Shadows, which is Battleborn Mage, Book 1, and Dragon Pirate, which is Riders of Fire, Book 3. There's lots of links in the Facebook group to these books. If you go grab those off Amazon, then you'll be in for the giant prize draw. We're giving everybody who has both books, we're giving you, I think it's 8 books for free. So some of you might have some of mine already, but you'll be getting 4 of Angel's as well. So, and one of them is an audiobook. So it's very cool. So go grab those books, go make Amazon buzz, and you'll get the prize package. And one of those is Drucky Twins, which is Snow and Red, the Dragon Shifters Horde. That's so sweet. Thank you, Boo. So Belinda, which ones do you love? You have the Dragon Shifters Horde. There she goes. She's saying she's already has them. Thank you. That's so kind. And those books were lots of fun to write too. They've got lots of action, and they've definitely got some nice romantic scenes at the lake. Right, Angel, I am so sorry you couldn't make it online today, but can everybody give some applause for Angel Haze? She's the founder of Indie Fantasy Addicts. I should have said this at the beginning, which is a 7,000 member, I think it's nearly 8 now, Facebook group full of readers and authors and people hanging out and having fun. And at the moment, they're doing the summer reading challenge. If you have any questions about that, drop that in the comments on Facebook, and then we will we'll let you know how to join up. So thank you very much for coming along today. Thank you for helping us launch Dragon Pirate and set the fiery dragon off on its course through the Novian Sea. Thank you for helping us work with Killian and the Battle Mages to go out beyond the Black Wall in Angel's Battleborn Mage series, and Reign of Shadows is book 1 in that series. There's a couple of other books floating around, and there's links to them in the Facebook group as well. So grab some of those. Whoops, there's more comments popping up here. You guys are cool. I am here. So is that Angel maybe? You guys have to allow StreamYard to, you have to push a button that says you allow it to make Oh, look, love for Angel. There you go. Very cool. So ask Angel some questions down below if you have any questions for Angel. If anyone else has a question for Angel, you can ask one now and she will answer it in the comments. She is here. That's cool. Yes, it's Angel Haze. There we go. She's listening in, people. So why don't you drop comments below and tell us what you love about Battleborn Mage series, and then Angel, we can let Angel see those too. That would be cool. I know we've had a lot of readers talking about it in Indie Fantasy Addicts. So if you want to hop over and join Indie Fantasy Addicts, I'll drop a link in this post. And I'm going to sign off now because we've got some more fun coming up. Michael Evans is doing lots of giveaways. So hop over to the other posts on the Facebook. Oh, yeah, I haven't used StreamYard for a year and a half, so we'll get better at this. But in a couple of weeks, Andy and me and Jeff will be online, and Andy's really experienced, so by then we'll all be sweet and know what we're doing again. Righty ho, guys! Thanks for partying. Go and grab your copies of Reign of Shadows and Dragon Pirate, and we will see you back in the group. Cheers. Bye. Oh, as I always say in my newsletter, cheers from my sunny little office in New Zealand. Bye.